Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of the In the Pocket podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Chip Ginyard. Happy New Year to you and your family. Thank you for taking time out to come join us and chill with us tonight. We have an important episode. We ended 2022 on a high note. We're going to take 2023 even higher. Today, we have a legend that's going to be our special guest. But before we get into it, let me tell you a little bit about the podcast. This podcast was created to help people find their rhythm. It was created to help them find their niche through the inspirational stories that our guests provide. We want to help you find your groove. We want to help you stay in the pocket. We want you to continue to pursue your dreams with the motivation that you gain from listening to our guests. My special guest today is a Philly legend, an East Coast legend, a global drum legend. Hailing from the 215, Brian Frasier Moore is a globally known drummer, music director, producer, and arranger. He is the ghost note killer, the 16-note assassin. He is one of the most highly decorated generals in the drum game, and he has created a name that will forever be respected in the music industry. Please welcome to the pod for episode 11, Mr. Brian Frasier Moore.
Man, thank you,
welcome
bro.
to
thank
the
you
show. Yeah,
you,
man. Welcome.
You.
I am so grateful that you took time out, man. You are so busy. I mean, it's hard to imagine you having a day off because you're always on the go. You're always learning something, always doing something. So thank you for taking time out, man, at the top of the year to be with me,
My
man.
pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for having me, man.
No doubt. I am a serious fan. You know, I play drums. I'm a student of drums. I study this stuff. I read credits. I'm from that old school where we used to buy the albums and read the credits, man. And it was important to know who was playing these favorite records and who was on TV that we were loving and idolizing. You know, we're air drumming at home, but we want to know who's doing it, where our inspiration is coming from. And you, my friend, were that guy. And you're not even that much older than me, but just I told Calvin this last week, just to see you guys aspire, you know, to make it out because you come from the same place we do.
Yes, sir.
I met a lot of you guys on the scene at church. People ask me all the time, how do you know these great people? And I'm like, midnight musicals, church concerts, rehearsals, on the road. You know what I mean? So we grew up in a similar fashion, and to see our people succeed and make it to high places, man, it just makes us feel good. And also lets us know we have a chance to do the same. So I want to thank you for coming through, bro.
Man, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. We go way back.
Absolutely.
There was a whole community of this before this whatever level, you know.
Yeah. So let's take it back, man. You grew up in Philly. You're an LA guy now, but your humble beginnings start in the 215. So talk about how it was growing up in Philadelphia, man.
Man, you know, you was there for a lot of that. Growing up in Philly. Mom and dad, the biggest supporters, the church, you know, 7 days a week playing, you know, had to get good grades in order to play the drums, you know, though you would get sat down if your grades wasn't good. Just growing up like that, being inspired by the Hawkins, being inspired by BJ Thomas, Amy Grant was my first concert that my mom ever took me to. That was the concert I decided that's what I wanted to do.
And that's a Christian artist for those that don't know. Amy Grant was a huge faith-based artist. It wasn't necessarily considered Black gospel because it was on the Christian side as far as, you know, other people worshiping to multiracial and multicultural music.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Brown Bannister was her band, if anyone knows, but they had a sound just like the Winans had a sound with Alex Acuna and Bill Maxwell and all of those. So that was my upbringing on when we could read credits to see that Abraham Laboreal and Bill Maxwell was in a band called Koinonia. They had a whole band record, which was incredible. So I grew up around that, growing up in Philly, playing at the studios, Larry Gold's studio, Jazzy Jeff's studio, playing at the Milk Bar, you know, with James Poyser, is my big brother, so shout out to him. The Stephen Ford from the church, Ford Memorial. Al Ingram, rest in peace. Al Ingram and Garfield Williams, Anthony Spike McCrae, these are all the legends that I grew up looking at. So then it sprouted out from there. You know, Johnny Kroom was a major MD that put me on. Just shout out to Johnny that believed in me, and it gave me a chance with Aaliyah and Genuine, and that started the whole.
Wow! So let's go back. Shout out to them, absolutely. Let's go back
Yeah.
to a little humble your formal beginning. You grew up in Kojic, right?
Yeah, Church of
Yeah.
God in Christ.
Yeah, okay. Talk about that Fellowship Tabernacle, something like that.
What? Fellowship Tabernacle. Robert Taylor was the pastor. My dad was a minister there. That was crazy. That's the first time we ever did broadcast. Remember
Yeah,
broadcast?
radio broadcast,
Live,
yeah.
yeah, radio broadcast.
Showers of Blessings broadcast ministry. And we're coming to you live from the beautiful sanctuary of the Fellowship Tabernacle Church of God in Christ.
Playing out the midnight musicals at the Adams Mark Hotel.
Yeah.
The Kojic conventions, the GMWA conventions with the Hawkins, Joel Smith, Doobie Pat.
Yeah.
Bro, I just gotta say this. So I went to a Hawkins seminar with Al Ingram. First time he took me. Doobie Powell, my first time seeing him. He walked in with a piccolo. I remember this, bro. A piccolo and a splash.
That was it.
Oh my God. So shout out to Doobie. But that was all my upbringing in church, man. It was crazy. It was crazy.
That's amazing, man. All you guys are my heroes, man. As you can see, I paid tribute to you guys with the shirt I've been showing everybody. Let me get this on the screen. So I did a Drum Hero shirt edition for my show, and these are all my legends that grew up that I looked up to in my era. So it's Calvin, Aaron, Teddy, Big Mike, Brian, Gerald, Nissan, Lil Jon, Doobie, Gordon, Rex. That was it. That was my childhood, bro. Later I discovered Spud and Quinn and all these other guys, but growing up, these were my guys, and I'm honored to sit down. Every time I get to talk to you guys on the pod, I am geeked out a little bit, and I go back to being 13 and fanning out a little bit because I'm with the dudes that I looked up to, man, and it feels really good to be with my heroes, though.
Man, thank you, bro. It's an honor to be on that shirt. That's those killers, Little John. Anyway, I'm not even going to.
So we're going to get to all that because I want to know. I want to know about your influences. So, what made you choose your instrument? What made you choose drums?
I think it was a natural love. When I think about the inception of it, it was what I was drawn to. I guess like everyone else.
Right.
And then I had a home base support from mom and dad buying me my first kit, really supporting me. To help when we were taking me to concerts, and then I had church as a school of hard knocks to really hone all of that love, and so that's what I would say.
Growing up traditional PK, always in church, doing everything. Gotta learn how to do every phase of ministry, and then then you get to play drums. But you got to make sure that bathroom is clean. You got to take the trash out. You got to do all those things. Wash the windows. Yeah. They don't know about that.
That was important. I remember getting sat down, and the crazy thing about getting sat down, for people that don't know, is like it's something morally that you didn't do, ethically that you didn't do. Like your grades was bad, you didn't clean up, whatever. So you got to sit on the front row and watch the other musicians.
Right.
Like it's like.
They take your love. It took your love away, so it made you remember that you wanted to be on your best.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember those days. Oh my goodness. Who was your greatest influence back in the day? What made you say, I want to be like him, or I like what he does?
There was periods of time early on, because I wasn't knowledgeable of all of the amazing inspirations. Early on was like Garfield Williams. Early on was like Joel Smith. Early on was like Gerald Hayward. Early on was Little John Roberts. For me, and then it expanded. Eric Tribbett. That's all we had. Big Mike Clemens. Saying Gordon Campbell. These were all of the guys that I saw in my upbringing, and then it trickled down. Even on my record, I have this interlude. I did a tribute for Chick because that was a huge moment in my life. And on the interlude, I'm gonna have me and Little John when we was up at Ogontz Avenue at his desk talking about that, like, because it
Yeah.
was such. He put that on, bro, and all of a sudden my inspirations became Vinnie Colaiuta
Ah,
and
great.
Alex Acuna and Bill
Yeah.
Maxwell and Dave Weckl was a
Yep.
huge his cleanness and his drum tones was a huge inspiration. So, but yeah, early on.
Man, I still
So
have that like 1980 Zildjian Day video on VHS with all those guys on it, man. And it just like the playing that they were doing was next level. And that shaped us because it opened our minds to fusion in as being church drummers. And in
absolutely.
church, gospel is probably the only genre where you can probably touch all different genres in one
Yes.
service, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, me, Kevin Arthur, and Jamar used to go down to Performing Arts just to practice Chick Corea
Yeah,
illusions, like, and learn it. But it was such an impact to us because it appealed to us musically, and the execution of the plan was next level. So, shout out to John for letting me hear that.
I have a similar story. Big Mike Clemens and Tom and those guys that were on the road with him, they had a community choir and they put us on to Chick Corea and Dave Weckl and all that stuff. And we would literally go to the library to rent the tapes and CDs, probably cassette tapes back then. Go to the
Yeah.
library to rent just to listen or try to dub it so you can
Yes.
come home and study. And like that's the era we come from, man. That's a
That's
great
the era
time.
we come from. And
Yeah.
I love everyone's inspiration. I just say for our era, I think
Hmm.
we had such the organic area having to listen to it. No
Yeah.
diss to social media at all. I'm actually curious to how we would have taken
Yeah.
that grind and the social media,
Yeah.
just to be honest. But I think we had more of a diving into to try to create that sound and
Yeah.
try to understand what they were doing. So
I agree. I feel like our era, and I know I don't want to sound like the old guy, but I feel like our era was the best. And not to take away from anybody in the 60s or 70s, but I think this 40, 50-year-old range where we are is the amazing, like we got to see the best in music and the best in sports. Like we got to see the inception of the internet, like all those things.
hmm
Like we got to go from vinyl to tape to CDs to digital now. Like we got to go full
yeah,
analog to digital. And I think
yeah,
that's an amazing attribute of our era that we got to see, the Jordans, Magic, Larry Bird, like just to see that whole evolution of time and how
yeah.
everything changed. This is a key pivot, a key point in life, and we got to be a part of it. And I think that's dope.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
Yes, sir. So if you weren't a superstar musician, what would you be?
Well, I would probably want to be a superstar musician. I'm not a superstar
Nah, stop it. Stop it.
musician at all. But if not, I was a little into journalism. I worked with my father at the Legal Intelligencer before I
Wow.
started
Yeah.
touring and stuff like that. Maybe that would have been an interest. I say full-time real estate
Okay.
probably would have been an interest because my business mind is really I'm really eager and curious about other fields, like
Yeah.
to money. Iora
Hmm.
was a company that I'm with, which is a virtual reality company. So I don't know. It's interesting.
That's dope to see though, because we can tell it's evident. First of all, journalism being your interest is really cool because it's evident in your branding and in your marketing, the
Mm,
way you do your social media. For one, it's impeccable. The content you put out is
thank you.
really pristine, sounds good, looks good, always high quality. And then you're consistent with it. You're posting every day some type of message or some type of positive affirmation or something informative. It's just I love the fact that you have a mind outside of music that can
Mm,
coincide with music, but it's just like it's refreshing to see somebody that thinks outside of the box.
thank you, brother.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
appreciate it.
I love that. I love that. So at what age, like I read that you started playing at what, 5? Something like that?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so you started playing at 5. When did you start realizing that you had a gift?
Oh, God, this is such a good question because I don't know when I think about it. I don't know if I realized the gift that I truly had in church.
Okay.
No shot.
No, that's
I'm
good.
church born, but I think I was such in the grind to be a servant and to
Yeah.
serve
Yeah.
and to give and make sure that I'm, everything that entailed us being in church at that time. I think it was maybe the first time I started to travel to see people I didn't know and to see how they reacted to the gift and the personality and everything. And then going overseas and saying, wow, you know, they really appreciate music in a whole another way. Maybe I do have something, you know, here. So it kind of gradually, and I still struggle with it to this day. I'm being very transparent.
No, but you're very humble, man. And I mean, there's a lot of people that can't hold a candle to you, bro, that are super cocky, and you're very humble for all that you've achieved. Like, I wasn't playing when I said you're a general in this game, because you are an authority and you can speak on things and everybody would have to sit and listen. So we respect that about you, that your humility, that goes a long way, bro.
Absolutely. Always.
Facts. So you're from Philadelphia, you know, like there's a few cities like Chicago, LA, Houston, Memphis, Detroit, New York City that just breed musicians. There's dope musicians from all over, but Philly is a special place. And I think you're the third Philly musician that I interviewed. I interviewed Little John, I interviewed Aaron Draper, and now you. Talk to me about your family, your musical tree of the musicians that you were associated with, that you came up with, and maybe you inspired some musicians that came after you, that you inspired, like your family tree, so to speak.
Yeah, me and Little John and Spank and Boots and Drape and all of us, we all talk about this all the time. That's first and foremost. I just appreciate these guys being them, no matter where they go. Right. You know, no matter where in the world, we still got a Philly brotherhood and a camaraderie with each other. Yeah, that's impeccable. And I'm not saying that no other city has it, but I can only speak for what I grew up in and what I experienced. Yeah. But I love these guys. Me and John talk about it, and we sit back and we look at Spank, and we look at Boots, right, and we look at Lil Darryl, and we look at Aaron Draper, and we look. I mean, it's so many. Pudge Tribbett, Eric Tribbett. You know what I mean? It's so many. Ty Tribbett, Thaddeus Tribbett. You know, to be able to be labeled in any kind of way, some inspiration to those killers is truly an honor and a blessing. Because I respect them so much, and their gift is just next level. It's like I sit back and I'm looking like, I really need to go into another business, bro, because you know what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? But
John told me a story about how he discovered you. You know, a lot of times we live in our own bubble, and we're at our own church or whatever, and we hear about people, but until you really meet them or come across them or your church fellowships or whatever it may be, you don't know that there's somebody on the side of town doing work just like you. Yeah. And so John told us a story. He was like, he heard you for the first time. It was like, oh my God, like, who is this? And I know that feeling here in Mike Clements across the city, you know, like, oh my God, like you think you're doing something and then you hear somebody else, you're like, whoa, I got some work to do. Yeah. Talk about that.
Well, that's crazy. First of all, thank you. That means a lot coming from John, even back then. So I'll reverse the sentiment, as they say, right? So Bruce Parham, I forget which year it was. Bruce Parham, you remember Bruce Parham?
Yes, absolutely.
Was doing an album at that particular time. I don't know how it worked out. I think I did half the record. John did half the record, right? Okay. So so I play my songs, and I'm like, yeah, it feels great. And John plays his, but I don't think I was there at the session. But what happened is, after all of that, I had to go back in the studio and put percussion on all of the tracks, right? Okay, so I hear mine, right? I'm taking real time. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good, yeah. And then they put up a John song, and my whole world crashed. This happened repeatedly throughout the whole session. It was 6 songs. I had to go through this for 6 songs. His intonation, his drum tuning, his expression, his authenticity to what he was trying to do. It was. I learned so much. Right. In that set. It actually changed my life. And then part 2 was me opening for Janet Jackson's Velvet Rope tour. This is later on. And I'm playing with Usher. Yeah. Bro, I'm playing with Usher, and he does the solo and I'm on the side of the stage, and I realized at that point in my life, another point. No,
Yeah.
I thought I was doing something. I'm
Yeah.
not really doing anything. So,
Oh man, that is amazing. Thank you for sharing that story. Two
yeah,
Philadelphia legends that were pushing each other, no competition, just love. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Just pushing each other to want to be better. This is episode 11 of the In the Pocket podcast, and we're here with the legend, my friend, Mr. Brian Frasier Moore. Let's talk about some legendary people that you have worked with in your career. Let me know what they mean to you. First and foremost, I got to ask you about the captain, Adam Blackstone. What does Adam mean to you?
First of all, that's family.
Yeah.
Above anything, his family is my family. My family is his family. Super proud of him. Congrats on a Grammy nom.
Absolutely.
He's going to win it. I'm just putting it out there. He's
Amen.
already won it. But working with this guy and getting to know this guy, man, is always a challenge as well as a pleasure. I'm always learning something. I'm always feel like I'm supporting his vision and what he's trying to do, and he trusts me, which means a lot for me. But he's at the top of his game.
Yeah.
He's branding out. I mean, it's great to work with him, and I get inspired at the same time for my own brand. So shout out to that guy. That's my guy, man.
How far do y'all go back? Like, how long have you known him?
Well, we go back to the crib.
Okay.
We didn't really work. We didn't work together a lot when we was back at home. So I think I'm sure it's been over at least 12 years, 10, 12 years or something that we've been working together.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like, but knowing him, knowing his family, knowing Kai and the babies and all of them has just been like timeless,
I remember meeting you in New Haven, Connecticut. You came there. I forget what artist it was, but Kai was on the gig. Terry Tribbitt was playing bass. Well, what gig was that?
That was Mike Posner.
Mike Posner. Yeah, that y'all was smacking. And I think me, Skeeter, and a few other people came out to check you that night. But we were all out there kicking it in New Haven, and that was my first time with Kai. And we all were out there chilling.
Yep,
that was a good
fun
time.
Tour.
Daniel
Jones was on that.
Well, since we're talking about Daniel, what does Daniel mean to you? Because he's an incredible producer, music director.
Another one of my brothers, man. Yeah. It's crazy how this business sometimes bring you tight with people, and it becomes more than music. That's my guy. That's my foodie buddy.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, get down on the food tip.
Yeah, he's a great cook. But another amazing musical director, producer.
Yeah.
He songwriting, the whole nine, and great person and father and husband too. That's my guy, Daniel. Super top of his game.
Yeah, very cool dude, very talented. I met him years ago at GMWA, I think in Minnesota, way back in the day. But super cool. He was with DW. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Omar Edwards.
Omar Edwards, another one. That's my guy, man. Amazing musical director, guy, friend, brother, husband, father. Super ears. You know what I'm saying? Got ears for days.
Sonics.
The interesting part about me and Omar, which we talk about all the time, was I was musical director for Glenn Lewis. This was back in the day, and Omar was on keys, so he always says like you were my first MD, and I can't, how can you even fathom that right now? He's like everybody's
right.
MD
to the stars.
We have that connection as well. Great guy.
Since we're there, let's talk about that, right? I think drummers make excellent producers and music directors. Talk about early in your career, I read that you had that opportunity to be a music director. Can you talk about that experience? Because a lot of times people don't imagine drummers can hold that role because we're not playing the parts. Now, there are other drummers that can compose and things of that nature. And I'm not sure of your background as far as that's concerned, but we don't get the respect as far as drummers to think that we can be leaders in that aspect.
Absolutely. And I understand it. Yeah. I understand why people say that. But when you really think about the job of a musical director outside of his position and what he plays, there's a lot of responsibilities there as well. The arrangement, the background vocals, the authenticity to the parts. So my whole theory was get the killers that can play it.
Yeah.
And then I can really do my job. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's kind of my approach. But I think that drummers have I'm not trying to put anybody else out there, but I think drummers have an amazing ear because
Yes.
we're playing to a click track. We always have to listen to what's on the background vocals. We always have to listen to drums on the
Yeah.
track. If that, so I think we're naturally diverse in what we pick up and hear while we're playing.
Yeah.
So shout out to all the MD drummers out there.
All the drum Ds, right?
The drum Ds. Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. So let's talk about some of the technical things of your playing, or not necessarily playing, but the industry, right? What are 3 things you carry with you at all times in your gig bag?
In my gig bag, headphones because I don't use in-ears.
Of
course.
Yeah, why is that?
So it's a really simple reason. There's no, whoa, that was crazy. I have excessive in-ear wax. So
Okay.
when I'm using in-ears and it's pushing in,
Yeah, okay.
you're on the road, you're sweating a lot. I used to end up in the hospital quite a bit, ear infection. So I said, nope, I'm doing the Gerald Hayward, yo. I'm going back.
Give me some cans, right?
Yeah. So
That's
it's that. It might be most of the time outside of my sticks. It would be my iPad. I use Fourscore for all my charts and everything like that. So I run a program through there, and my laptop.
Okay. So, perfect. Now you mentioned charts, so you do read music.
Yes.
Okay.
So there was an experience that I had maybe 10, 11 years ago where Teddy Campbell was sick, and it's really my first time working with Ricky Minor.
Wow.
And he had me come into to Capitol Records, the A room where Quincy Jones used to, no pressure, in front of people like Wayne Lindsey, you know what I'm saying, Kevin Ricard, all of these guys that read music like it's the Sunday paper. And from that moment on, they were so supportive.
Okay.
They were like, man, you didn't do bad. I'm like, I did do good. So, from that point on, Adam started to develop charts.
So wait, you were well into your professional career when you learned?
Absolutely. This is why you can never think you're the best, because there's always another level of learning, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
So there's hope for me.
Bro, we have all the hope in the world.
Wow.
as long as we want to do it. So now, and that's how I hear Teddy Campbell. The same way when he first came. Much props to Teddy Campbell, a great player. But one thing I learned stepping into his shoes was his ability to read. And how many charts, 500, 600 charts after your memory is already gone after 20 to 30. So that's another thing that I'm always pushing on my gigs. Helps me out a lot. I'm like, what bar? Oh, you're making a change? What bar? 49? Hold on, let me write that in, because it cuts down on the error. It makes you feel better because you know what's happening, so you can concentrate on executing and stuff like that.
Did you go to school, or did you have somebody to sit with you and work with you, or did you just watch YouTube? What did you do?
No, so I had a general idea. You know, when people say, "Yo, can you read music?" They say, "Yeah," and their voice go high. It's not really right. So I had a general knowledge, and I started diving into it. But Ricky Minor suggested these 2 books. I'll send it to you in the text. These 2 books that he gave me, and he said, "Yo, just check these out." And the way they broke it down, what each part of the drum was, the bar, the space, the hi-hat is on the top one, the time, the second time. Once you start understanding that, then you out of here.
And so you're doing these major award shows, and I'll get into all the large things you've done, but like, are you nervous does the reading empower you? Does it take the fear away?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because when we're playing a song, what are you thinking about? You thinking about what's coming up next? Don't let me miss this.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. Am I in the first verse or the second verse? You know what I'm saying? Just imagine playing without having that on you.
Okay. So it's a guide that keeps you in in line.
Yeah. Only if you need it. Only if you need it. You know, like,
because by the time you get to TV, by the time it's time to cut, you're not really relying on it. But if you need it, you can look to your left and know where you are.
I've been in those situations where I've rehearsed and knew it. And on game day, on the show day, I'm like, I draw a blank on something.
Yeah. So it's good to have that reference there. Oh, that's why you keep working, man. That's why you keep working. That's why you're one of the best in the business. That's smart. What's a common mistake that musicians make on the road?
Getting too comfortable. And you can take that wherever you want. Getting too comfortable with the artist, getting too comfortable with making money, getting too comfortable with your status or position on that tour. You know, just the whole getting too comfortable thing.
Okay. Let me see. What goes into the design of your tour rigs?
I'm currently in the process of it now. So that's a whole thing. So I sketch out.
Because you had some monster setups.
Yeah. So this is interesting. So I sketch it out with my tech. And we actually sketch out everything, every piece that we need, every lock, we sketch out everything. We send that list to them so they can get that ready. The drums, the shells, the drum heads. I'm doing a video drum head on this next hit. So the drum heads, the color, the sticks, the symbols, the designs of everything, the signature snare. What are we going to do with those? Marketing goes into it. What are the newest products that you guys have out? Send that to me. I will be promotion for that product on this tour. So it's a lot that goes. And then after we have those specs, me and my tech, we get together. And this is always the greatest event. I did it with JR. I do it with Okwa. I'm doing it with Jimmy, who's my tech for Pink. So we get together at my house and we just relax. And we just we listen to the music and have some beers or barbecue or something.
Right.
And we put it together and make sure now like that. What about this? We like to take our time with it so that when we get into rehearsal, it's seamless.
That's so dope. Who are you endorsing right now?
Endorsing Pearl drums, Sabian cymbals, Vader sticks, Evans drum heads, Roland electronics, SE electronic mics, Magambi cables, V-Motor headphones, Humenberg cases, and I think that's it.
That's amazing, man. Do you ever just like lay in a bed or just like walk into this room that you're in right now and like, yo, wow, like this is really where I'm at. Like I'm God bless me.
It's a blessing, bro. When you coming from church and you coming from that era with so many amazing musicians and talent, man, you never dream of having these experiences. So I'm truly grateful. And that's why I want to be an inspiration to everybody. I want everybody to be able to feel what whatever that is,
Absolutely. So let's talk about on stage. How important is placement? Now you do a lot of professional shows. How do you know when to give more or just play the record?
So this is interesting. And you guys make sure that you sign up for a BFM consultation because this is what we go through. But just to give you some insight on how we break it down, there's blueprint. There's a blueprint for me and all my clients for a song, right? And I'll share it just as an idea. Intro, you're giving it whatever energy. It could be a soft intro, a mellow intro. It could be an intro bang in your face. You got to do what you got to do. First verse and first chorus is emulating the record and all that there is, setting that tone because people want to hear what their record is. Right? By the time you get to the second verse, second chorus, I then start to implement extras off of things that's placed in the track, whether it be vocals, whether that be a guitar line, so it keeps me safe to be able to execute that. And then there on out to the bridge, I'm giving it the energy it needs. If it needs to be in the clouds, it feels like you're in the cloud, whatever it needs. And then from there on out, I'm kind of implementing Brian into it with all the other parts.
So let me give you an example. I was on your YouTube page and I found this audio. And it's a perfect example of playing the record. You're not doing anything fancy, you're not doing anything crazy, but it's so supportive. It's enough energy. the song is still building. It's amazing. Check this out, y'all. So you're playing SPDS on the side, like it's just amazing. I love the snare pattern and just the energy that you're giving. It makes the record flow so smoothly. Can you talk about the discipline that goes into playing a record like that?
It's a lot of discipline. I mean, you have artists just from that audio, which is Madonna. Artists are different, and my challenge is to be their favorite, whatever their different is. I'm going to show you that I can become that energy, you know. So with Madonna, she wants to hear what was on the record. Now there's room to put a feel in it, but when I start putting those feels in it, then it might be a problem. So that isn't a great example.
Okay, that is so dope, because I read somewhere she prefers a drum machine, and with you were the exception. That she was like, well, Brian makes it feel good, and I trust what he's doing. And that says a lot. That's a huge quote, bro.
That's a lot. That was I appreciate her saying that. They hit Modern Drummer themselves. I didn't know that
Really?
she gave that. No, I didn't know. It brought tears to my eyes that she felt like that.
That's amazing, man. So what genre? You played everything: country, pop, hip hop, jazz. You know, at these award shows, you're doing it all. What genre is your favorite?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know, because I find so much joy whether I'm doing big band or whether I'm doing award shows or whether I'm playing a song with an artist. I will tell you this, that my latest venture has me 100% diving into rock and the history of it. And playing with Pink, it's more, Mark Schulman was there before I was. Shout out to Mark. Great. That's my guy, man. I love Mark. And so now I'm learning things like, you know, I go into rehearsal with an 8-inch tom, a 10-inch tom, and a 12-inch tom, and I'm listening back to Dropbox, and I'm like, no, it can't. So on my new kit, fast forward, as everyone see, first time I ever changed my setup in my whole career. This is 30 years for me this year. The first time I ever changed my setup, 13-inch, 16, 18.
Is this it right here?
No, that's what I was using in rehearsal, that I realized this is not going to work.
Okay, got you.
But nobody is seeing.
Ooh, the exclusive bird being hand rubbed.
So my inspiration lately, as I've been playing songs like Barracuda or playing songs like Bohemian Rhapsody, has been Taylor Hawkins and Stuart Copeland. So I'm more towards that sound now.
Big drums open. I got you.
Yeah.
That is dope. So you've done 1 million tours and 1 million sessions. What was your favorite tour?
My favorite tour, my favorite tour right off the rip, just thinking about it, I would have to say Janet Jackson. It was the All For You. And the reason I say that is the time and the space and time.
Yeah.
You know, that was a huge opportunity for me. That was a level up. I never done any gigs like that. So that was, and it was songs that I grew up on. I know all the
you were
words,
familiar with them.
You know, I saw Janet in the audition, and I'm like, yo, this Janet Jackson, guys.
So did you come? I remember John telling the story. John, you came after John, right?
So yes, I came after John did Velvet Rope tour.
Yeah.
And then I did All For You tour.
That's amazing, man. Is that the clip you posted the other day when you were in Hawaii? Was that around that time?
In Hawaii, I think it was. I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's dope. Talk about your first tour, your opening experience, right? Is the legendary Epics tour, I think, with Aaliyah, Genuine, Drew Hill. Was that the first one?
That was my first, what I would call a major tour. My first tour, in actuality, and I'll come back to that, was this group called the Whitehead Brothers. Do you remember them?
I seen the name. I don't remember them, but maybe I know the music.
It was McFadden and Whitehead. It was Whitehead's son.
Okay.
right? And they had a song. It's a Your Love Is a 187. You remember that song?
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my first tour. But Aaliyah and Genuine was really when my eyes opened. Um, okay, real quick, I promise, just really fast. Another eye-opening moment.
Okay.
So I'm out with the White Hair Brothers, my first tour. This was in Hammersmith in London. I'll never forget it, right? And the first show we were opening up for Blackstreet, right?
Oof.
And so, okay, so here I am. This is arrogant, Brian. This is way back. This is Brian thinks he's the man because he's on a tour finally, right? And so, okay, so we play the show, and we get off stage, right?
Yeah.
And we was like, yeah. I told Gerald this. I tell Gerald this all the time. I said, yo, we just killed them. Yo, what they ain't gonna do nothing with that. Yo, and that stage, bro, that stage opened up for Blackstreet, and the sound that came off that stage, bro, changed my life. It was it was crit. The way his drums sound, the way the band sound and move together, the thickness of his
It
shells.
was so locked, man. Oh my God. Those are the best times, yo.
Anyway, I just had to say
If
that.
you need a fix. God. And he had the little 10 up here on the left side. Oh.
Okay. I promise this is the last one. So
go.
one night, the stage was too small. It couldn't fit both of our gear. So they went to Blackstreet and said, yo, can we use your gear? So I had to play on that kit. Bro, wow. I was lost.
It wasn't even comfortable. It wasn't set up for you.
The whole time I'm playing like this. Like, this is crazy. So shout out to Gerald. My biggest inspiration for my drum racks and my drum designs.
The monster designs, man. That's what's up, man. Can you give me an Aaliyah story and then talk about that opening tour?
Yes. So Aaliyah at the time, she was a new artist, newish, kind of. So I was grateful to be there. I didn't realize the magnitude like I do now of who she was going to be or ended up being. But she was a sweetheart, man. She loved drums, man. And I have video. I didn't put up because I don't want to make like the family feel any kind of way. But I have a video of me and her talking.
Wow.
And she's dancing in the hall, and I got the video camera, and I'm like, yo, you look like this girl named Aaliyah, man. She's like, nah. She's pulling her hat back. She's like, nah, yo, my name Radia. I was like, nah, yo. Like, so when I see a video like that, I definitely miss her, man. Yeah. She was a jewel to this earth, but it was an amazing experience. That's when I got to be out on tour with Mike Clemens and Gore Campbell. They was killing. Yo, Mike was killing on this Drew Hill stuff. Yeah. I remember the whole show, bro.
Mike told a story on episode 2 that he was introduced to you that time. And he said, this is Brian. And I remember your setup. You had the high cymbals and you was wearing no shirt and like, total rock star, like total rock star vibes. And Mike said, yo, Brian, they brought it every night. And I interviewed him and Nate, his brother. He said, it wasn't competition, but we had to bring it every night because we didn't know what Aaliyah and Genuine was going to do. And so they had to bring it. And like, y'all was just inspiring each other. And I wish I was there at that time.
Man, it was a big inspiration between Mike and Gore. And it was like every night, it was like, oh my God, Gordon was the first person I saw play with Mary J. Yeah. But he was playing with Mary back then. I was like, yo.
All of y'all played for Mary at one point. That's the crazy part.
Wow. That was crazy.
Yeah, I remember those days when Gerald was doing it and Mike was doing it. And, oh, man, those are great times. Those times really shaped us. And that also let us know who were home watching that we could aspire to be like y'all as well. You know what I mean? Like, we saw y'all doing it. And I'm a little younger than you, but to see you and Mike on that platform made us all want to be professional drummers as well. Man. Dope stuff. So you performed at the Oscars, man, and something amazing happened something that shook up the world, a viral moment. It was a big day for Philly, right? Everybody was hyped. Like Quest won, and then Will won. You and Adam are playing. Like it was a huge Philly day. And then what was the temperature like in the room when that happened?
We were in the pit, so it was we wasn't in the room to really see anything happening. So when once we found out what happened, it was really just a shock, to me. It was, but keep in mind we didn't have much time because we had to play the playoff.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it was like, I guess when it happened,
and that was that was real, right? Everybody thinks it was fake, but you being in the room can attest that really happened.
From my knowledge, I think it was real. But once again, I'm in the pit, and then next thing Dante is lifting up the baton, and we're in with the walking music. So it happened so fast.
Yeah, wow,
so fast.
Wow.
But shout out to Adam and Questlove and all of them. It was Derek Hodge, Dante Winslow, everybody a part of that was huge.
Tell me about that experience. You get the call and you say we're going to do the Oscars. What are you thinking right away?
I'm thinking like, grab that practice book for reading charts, bro. Because here we go.
Here we go.
With 86 cues, 86 pieces of music. Shout out to Teddy Campbell once again. 86 pieces of music, playing no tracks or anything like that. Just going off to the baton. Sometimes you get 3, 4, and you write in. So it was a really and to attest to the story from earlier, we rehearsed in Capitol Records at the same place
but you're better equipped this time.
I felt so much better in that room this time.
Let me play a little clip from your Instagram. I found this.
Okay.
So this is right after it happened because Quest got the award, right? So you're playing "Hate Me Now" right after everything went down. What are you thinking in that moment?
I'm thinking, Brian, you better concentrate.
Yeah,
you be a part of the snowstorm, bro. You gotta concentrate. Blinders on, blinders.
Yeah. Oh man, what an amazing time! What an amazing moment. I mean, you have a few goated moments that will live on forever, man. That's unbelievable. Do you still get nervous?
Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
Just not for lack of confidence in myself, just for I've done so many of these shows that something's going to go wrong at some point, regardless.
Yeah, I heard you say, people see the good things, but you always see you're your worst critic, and you always see, oh, I hope they don't realize I messed up here. Like, we can't tell, bro. We really can't.
Well, I think we're all like that to a certain extent, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're our own hardest and worst critic. I got you. Have you ever been starstruck? Have you ever wanted to work with somebody, see somebody, and be like, oh my God, I can't believe this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, real quick. So we're doing the Super Bowl, Justin Timberlake Super Bowl, right? So that morning, me and my wife go downstairs to have breakfast, this little breakfast spot, right? And so we're standing in line, wiping the coal out. And the lady, she says, just give me 1 second, we'll seat you. And I'm looking around, I look over here, and I'm like, Brandy. And my wife's Brandy. I'm like, is that Sting right there?
Wow.
And she was like, that's Sting. And it was a booth. It was a booth like one apart from him that was open. I told the lady, I said, hey, give me that booth. Give me that.
I want that
one right there. So long story short, I let him eat, and I was super starstruck. And I said, Brandy, I got to go over here. I got to say something that I've always, anybody knows me, that's the pinnacle of wanting to play with an artist. Long story short, I waited till the right time, walked over, introduced myself, gave him my card, told him I was a fan, and told him I was playing for the Super Bowl. He was like, oh, big show, huh? I was like, yeah, it's a big show. He said, you must be good. I said, well, if you get a chance, my website is on the card. No pressure. And I was walking away. I said, nice to meet you. And he was like, yeah, we're gonna check it out. We're gonna check out the Super Bowl. And that's as close.
Oh
I didn't get no call, but that was close.
That's enough, man. Well, you just led me right to the next point. How important is networking? Because you're in the room with these powerful, affluent people, how do you play your position? How do you come off as hungry for an opportunity but not thirsty?
Well, this is when the business part kicks in, and
Yeah,
this is what I'm really happy with myself is that as equal as it is as music, is definitely business. So just
yeah,
you having a business mind, know that the opportunities present themselves, and you being of a character to strategically
yeah.
introduce yourself and strategically having something on you. There was an artist I can't mention, but there was an artist that I did some video for. Did a
Okay.
couple of his songs, put my information, intro. Hey, this is Brian. Such and such. And I put it on a memory stick. So I put these on a memory stick because when you're in the club,
Yeah.
nobody wants to have long conversations.
Right.
They don't care. I'm a drummer, whatever, right?
Right.
And so I've put together a presentation where it's just take this memory stick and when you get time,
Yeah.
just
Check it
check
out.
out and everything is on there. So the importance of networking is very important, but the importance of strategic networking
Yeah.
is probably the most important.
Yeah. Be strategic in your approach.
You got to.
Yeah. What advice can you give to musicians about spending money? I know we all get the money, we're hyped. What can you offer as advice to being better with your money?
Nah, I totally understand it. If you're anything like me, I didn't come from getting paid for doing what I do. So when you hit that money, I totally understand it. You feel better. You want to start doing things. But here's the down part, right? Is that we don't have a yearly income
Mm-mm.
with this gig. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's not
Right.
guaranteed, even if for the whole year. So just keeping that in mind, and keep doing everything in the right perspective. But if you blowing your money on unnecessary stuff, that's only going to end one way. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Got you. What's the wildest thing you've purchased?
Probably my house.
Okay, well, that's a good investment.
That's the wildest because I love it. It's crazy. My wife convinced me. I said we can't afford that, y'all. I'm from Philly. I said we can. She said yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Because you're gonna keep working. I got you.
Right. Right.
Wow. How did the well, this is two-part question. The pandemic caused everybody to be creative in how they stayed relevant, right? And you have an amazing home studio. Um, how did you manage during the pandemic to stay afloat and continue to put content out?
To be quite honest, me and my wife bought our house right after the JT Man of the Woods,
Okay,
and
cool.
it was about 6 months before the pandemic hit. So we were kind of early on
Yeah,
getting the house, and when we got into the house, I was so much into all the things that go into buying a house. You're
yeah.
just there making sure everything is done, and
Okay.
she said, yeah, "Hey, we should build a studio." And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, yeah, we can do that. Well, that's right. I'm
Yeah.
not in an apartment. Oh,
Right.
okay. That's right. So we built the studio. We got somebody come in and build it.
Yeah.
Beautiful 2 rooms. And so that's when I realized how much pre-record work was happening. You should see my folder, bro. It was
Oh, I can imagine.
it was crazy. Award show, TV show, sessions, the Alter Ego. We did Alter Ego with Adam. I think it was a total of 120 songs. So we had a system every day. Brian, cut this and this,
Yeah.
so it opened my eyes to how much pre-record work actually goes in the game. Not to mention movies as well.
That's amazing, man. So you were ahead of the curve so that you were ready. God prepared you basically to be ready for the
It
pandemic.
was all him. It was all
Yeah.
him. I just, me and my wife just followed through with the plan, but that was him.
Yeah. How important is it to have a plan once music slows down? And you're playing at a high level, but you also attribute it to talking, speaking, and thinking outside of the box. So how important is it to have a plan after music? Because music will slow down at some point.
I think it's very important.
Yeah.
I think if you don't have a plan and you're at liberty to live like that, then that's a great thing. But most of us, we have to have a plan. That
Yeah.
music, even for me myself,
Yeah.
this is 30 years, right? And I've been touring, playing for this artist, playing for that artist, playing for that. Um, I, I felt a time, maybe about 10 years ago, that yo, this you got to invest in something else because your
Right.
body can't keep up like
Yeah.
that. You're getting older, younger guys, Devin,
Yeah.
little Nick, and like yeah, these guys are
They're
monsters, yo.
monsters. Yeah, they
You know
are.
what I'm saying? So you have to just the evolution of time, and
Yeah.
you getting older. You have to have another game plan.
Yeah.
And that can be even in the music
Yes,
industry. Just
absolutely.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yes, it's important.
Absolutely. I think you have to have a plan of succession to move on because if you don't, you'll be moved out the way with no other way to express yourself or even, stay relevant.
Bro, they coming through.
They are
You hear me?
they are assassins, bro. You're not lying.
CJ, Jesus Christ, yo. Crazy, yo.
All them dudes, the Poindexter brothers, the
Oh my
Maddox
God,
brothers.
yeah. It's crazy. It's like, geez.
How do you, with 30 years in the game, how do you choose to stay relevant? Is it just your gift? Is it you listening to certain things? Is it just staying up on music, the radio? What is it?
Staying up on everything.
Yeah.
Staying up on music, the music business.
Yeah.
Staying up on stocks, staying up on real estate, staying up on investments.
Right.
Staying up at everything. I feel like everything has to have the equal amount of energy.
Yeah. You pour a lot into your social media. Can you explain how social media can be a positive tool to keep you in the eyes of the people?
Yeah, I think that's the day we live in right now.
Yeah.
Like social media rules the eyes, right? So everybody's always looking on social media. So when people say, when they have consultations with me and I say, man, listen, I went to your social media. If I was anybody in power, position of power, I would not be hiring you.
Oof.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So social media for us is always selling ourselves to someone that's looking for eyes. If your social media is dead, you're dead.
Yeah. It's true.
I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But what you gonna do? You gonna get with it or reinvent the wheel?
Yeah, I mean, any job, right? These days, people are looking at your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter. Same thing with music, right? They want to see what you're about and how you carry yourself.
Many times Adam be like, "Yo, you know a drummer such and such." I'll be like, "Yeah." He'd be like, "Send me his Instagram." I'll be like, "Jeez,
that's
can't do that."
Yeah.
This guy's just chopping all day long on all of his.
Not playing anything straight. Yeah, I got you.
See, you know what I'm saying? So I think that social media for us, if we just think more global, like putting a film clip out there that you actually scored and coming back and doing a Shania Twain song, then come back and doing a Amigos
showing
song.
real content and real
you know
substance.
what I'm saying? Yeah.
Gotcha.
Then when those people come through, they can scroll and be like, "Oh, he." But if I got chopped for like 40,000 posts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, let's play a game called Rapid Fire. I'm gonna give you an either or option, and you just tell me what your preference is.
Okay.
All right. So New York or LA?
New York.
Okay. Logic or Pro Tools?
Neither.
What do you cut with?
Reason.
Really? Explain why or how you got involved with that.
So I've been using Reason for over 15 years. I was familiar with how to do it. Anyone knows with Reason that they were a little behind with their technology. You couldn't even import audio. But where they are now is crazy. So I figured I might as well stay with a DAW or software that I'm familiar with since they both.
Okay, I got to check that out. I am not too hip on that. I got to check that out. All right, London or Paris?
London.
Do you play a 5A or a 5B or a 7A? What do you play? I know you have your own stick, but is it?
It's more to a 5B.
More to a 5B. So heavy. That's heavy, Brian.
Yeah, a little heavier. But it's longer. 16 and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope. Jamaica or Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico.
Okay. Canada or Mexico?
Jeez. No diss. I have to say Canada.
Okay. Japan or Australia?
Japan.
Okay. Ishkabibbles or Gems?
Ishkabibbles. All day.
Okay. What do you get on your cheesesteak?
So I get chicken cheesesteak with sweet peppers, provolone cheese, and fried onions. That's it.
Dope. Italian food or Mexican food?
Italian.
Okay. Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings.
You're a morning person.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife is a school teacher.
Okay, so you've been up with her. Got you.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to play in sneakers or dress shoes?
Sneakers.
Sneakers. Okay.
We've been dress shoes all our life, y'all.
Yeah, of course. Some people. Calvin said dress shoes last week, so it depends.
He's a bishop. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Teddy Pendergrass or Barry White?
Teddy Pendergrass, Philly all day.
Okay. Patti LaBelle or Gladys Knight?
Miss Patty.
Philly all day. Jay-Z or Nas?
I gotta say Jay, man.
Oh.
I gotta say it, man. But that's because I have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one's gonna be even harder because you play music for all of these. Kanye, Pharrell, or Tim?
I say Tim.
Tim?
Yeah.
That's dope. Chicken or fish?
Fish.
Fish. J. Cole or Chance the Rapper?
J. Cole.
Weather Report or Electric Band?
Electric Band.
Ooh.
That's hard, bro.
Boys to Men or Jodeci?
Jodeci? I know Boys and Men. It's Philly. I know. Like, yeah.
Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Okay. Delta or JetBlue?
Delta.
Okay.
This is interesting.
Let's do Sixers or Lakers?
Sixers. Ride or die.
Okay. Rams or Eagles?
Eagles.
Okay. Phillies or Yankees?
Phillies.
Phillies all day. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy making the song or performing the song? What do you enjoy more?
Gee, that's a hard one.
Making it, you get to put your ideas out, create from scratch. Performing, the world gets to hear it. You get to see the reaction.
I think making it. Now that I had this, if you asked me like 5 years ago, I'd have been like, performing it. But now it's like, yeah, I love the process of making music.
That's dope. Do you prefer traveling or staying home and doing studio sessions?
Staying home.
Yeah, stay at home.
100%.
Okay.
Things have changed.
Well, you've done everything. Like, I talked to Jonathan Dubose. He said the same thing. He's like, I'd rather stay home and have the money come to me at home. I don't want to go out. He's like, I've been everywhere already. So, like, I get it. He's like, it's going to cost a pretty penny to get me out the house now. So, I get it. I get it. When's the last time you recorded with everybody in the room? Like a full session?
A full session was with Adam and Omar for we were doing something for this movie, Loud Loud Crocodile.
Yeah, I
don't
saw the preview for that.
Yeah, I don't know if they took what we did, but that was the last session I did.
I saw your name and credits, so I just checked all credits.
Oh, for real?
It's up. Yeah.
I didn't even go check yet. So.
Yeah, I think it's on there. When I checked your all credits page, I think it's on there. So sad card getting swiped. You know what I'm saying? You out there.
I'll take it.
Last one, character or skill? What's more?
Character.
Character. Can you explain why?
I can't see your skill if your character is in the way. Your core has to be the right, for me personally, to look at your talent or your skill.
Yeah. Thank you for that, man. All right, let's move on to the next thing. This is called Respect My Catalog. All right, I'm going to play a clip, and you're going to give me some backstory about it. So you mentioned Janet before, but we're going to play a clip now that I took from your Instagram.
Okay.
There goes that Brandon again. You know, my guy Brian Frasier Moore. This is episode 11 of the In the Pocket podcast with the legend Brian Frasier Moore. We are here just chopping it up, talking about some records that he played on, some live performances, and that was Janet All For You. I think that was live in Honolulu or Hawaii, somewhere in Hawaii.
In Hawaii, yeah.
Tell me about that, man, because you were slapping on that joint.
Man, thank you. That was a crazy experience. So that took me back to when I saw Little John performing Velvet Rope for the HBO special.
Yes.
So I felt like it was that same kind of spirit or that kind of moment.
Yeah.
I always look at those recordings or those, whether it's those or like Super Bowl, as war. I always look at it as like, Brian, this is what you fought for. This is the moment. So I was hyped up.
Yeah.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis was in the truck, so that made me super nervous.
Yeah.
And I changed my snare at the day of the show, and Dave Berry almost lost his mind. He said, "You can't do that." So, but I'm glad I did. I used the Sensitone, the Pearl Bradshaw Sensitone, because we were in an open stadium. I was like,
You needed to cranking.
Yeah, it was a monumental moment. Now I see afterwards. I mean, more of that at that time. I was just wanted to make sure I played it right.
Yeah, that was amazing, man. Talk to me about your signature line with Pearl.
So yeah, it's Brian Frasier Moore snare. It's 5.5 by 14. Jesus, 5.5 by 14, 12 ply.
Yeah.
It's a 8-ply maple, 2-ply gumwood on the inside, 2-ply gumwood on the outside. There's die-cast hoops, 42 strain on the bottom for your snares.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of the sound that I'm used to, like solid wood, and having the versatility on the snares on the bottom to whether tune up or tune down. So if I tune low, I got all those snares on the bottom to really give me a fat sound. I previewed it at the NAMM a few years back, and I had all three. Yeah. And I tuned them all different just to show the
versatility.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a great snare. I love it.
I have yet to see it in person yet, but I definitely love Pearl snares, and I would definitely support. So do you have to order it?
But you can order from BFM, or I'm a distributor. I'm a distributor.
So go check out my guy Brian Frasier Moore for that signature snare with Pearl. That's dope. Let's go to another clip that I have. This is from the Man of the Woods tour that I took from your Instagram as well. So you have this thing where you play with so much feeling, and your groove is so tight yet it's so loose. You know what I mean? Like your 16 notes. That's why I called you 16 note killer and the ghost note killer, because you sneak these little tricky things in your playing. You know what I mean? Like it's so Philly, man. Like I can't explain it. Like it's on beat, but it's off beat a little bit, but it's still tight. It's just amazing how you do it, man. Like, salute to you, bro, for your insight and how you play, man. Like, it's all from your heart. How much of that is calculated and practiced, and how much of it is that you playing from your heart?
So, a situation like this, when I'm on tour, I take it in sections because you were able to in here. Okay. So when I'm practicing, I just go through different feels. It might be a 16th. It might be a 3/4, might be a 6/8 within that 4/4, and I just work out different places I can go.
Okay.
And then when we get there, I just decide at that moment.
Wow, that's dope. That was a memorable moment, man. The Man of the Woods tour. That was the most recent JT tour that he completed. Yeah, right before the pandemic. I think you said you just completed.
Exactly.
That was 2019. Yeah. I want to talk about this clip right here because it shows your humility. It shows your love, and that you're always grateful for every opportunity. It was at the Super Bowl. I don't know which year. I think it was 2012. You put a video up of behind the scenes, and I just want to share that with everybody to show how humble you are with all the achievements that you've had.
Walking to the stage, make sure I got my Humes&Berg case, my Master Dynamic headphones, and my Vader custom sticks. I feel ready. I feel equipped. I feel empowered. Nothing can take away from this moment right now. God has blessed me to see another Super Bowl, another chance to perform, another chance to use my craft for what He purposed it to be. If you've never done a show like this, believe me when I tell you, it's such a humbling experience to know that you've been chosen to do something and be a part of an amazing team. Keep pushing.
Bro, that was amazing. Like, talk to me about that experience. Like, the Super Bowl is the most watched event on television, and you got to perform there twice. Please tell me about that experience, about you going through at the highest stage that any musician aspires to be to.
It's crazy. It's actually this is the third one.
Come on, B. Get me right. Get me right.
It's sitting back there.
Yes, sir. Wow. Third one. So give me each year and each artist that you played with each time.
So it was I think it was 2012 with Madonna. That was my first one.
Absolutely.
And then 2000. What was that? 18. 2000. I can't remember the year exactly.
2012 Madonna. Then who was next? 2018. Justin.
And then Shakira and J-Lo, the last one.
You did that one too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember that too. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get the calls to do these shows, and like, is your world blown? Is your mind blown? Like, again?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. You know, I mean, come on, like that's like a huge show. That's a huge opportunity. You know what I mean? That's 140, 160 million people looking. That's companies throwing you stuff. Because and I get it, because it's, you know, you want your stuff to be seen. Your family is proud of you. You're playing with these artists, and it's incredible.
Can you talk about what goes into the preparation? Because we only see the 12-minute show. But when do you start? Like, it's Super Bowl time now. So talk to me about the prep that will go into it if you were playing at this new Super Bowl.
So if I was playing, I probably would have started rehearsals maybe November, December-ish. I'm sure that they taking a break for the holidays. Start back up again at the top of January and keep going till game day. It's a constant grind. You know, rehearsals aren't just for learning what's there. Rehearsals is for artists to try new things or new music to come up, and then you have to get acclimated to performing it. So it's a whole monster. You got lights, dancers, artists, music, rack designs, gear everywhere. You know what I mean? So it's such a big event, man. But it's really humbling. At
what point does the artist come in to give their approval? Because you're rehearsing for months in advance. So when do they come in to see?
From my experiences, all the artists are in with the creative director and the musical director even before the band gets there. So they're already in before it's not like we go in there and just be waiting for them to come. You know, so all hands on deck, you know, from the start.
That's tough, man. Wow. 3 times. That's amazing. What a blessed 30+ year career you've had, my friend, man. This is episode 11 of the In the Pocket podcast with the legend himself, Mr. Brian Frasier Moore. Question: why do you think people still call you? In your opinion, we know, but why do you think?
In my opinion, first and foremost, I've heard this from a few artists, is because they trust me.
Yeah,
and I think that just comes down to a human factor. Having experiences with people, whether you've been under the gun or repetitively have high pressure situations or we want to trigger this, and we want you to do this. We want you to build this. We want you to learn this. We need you to chart this or read this. I think all of those situations that I'm grateful for has worked in my favor for comfort level.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll call Brian because I know he can do what I need him to do.
Got you. You're a family man, father, husband. How do you want to be remembered, and how important is your legacy?
Man, my legacy. I talk to my wife about this all the time, and I'm not really the award guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really that guy. I just want to see people that I've poured into push to the stratosphere, like my brothers that I've been hands-on with helping, and it's been all of them doing the work. I'm just there just talking to them. But like Mike Reed is somebody that I pour a lot into, and we're now partners. We in partnership together. But just to see him flourish and he about to do a Super Bowl, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the best reward. So I would rather be remembered as the guy that truly cared and wanted to help people get to their potential.
Absolutely.
It don't have to be nothing about drums. It's just what I do for work. But you know what I'm saying?
So Brian, the person, helps helps build people up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that, man. Thank you so much. One last question. Who would you like to see on the pod? On the In the Pocket podcast. And if you recommend someone, you have to help me get in touch with them if I don't know them.
Easy. Okay. Let me think about that. Okay. Who would be interested? You already had Little John.
Yeah.
Right? It would be interesting. You had Teddy?
Teddy's coming up sometime this month.
Okay. Teddy. I would say, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Did you have Lester Estelle on already?
No.
Lester Estelle is a great one.
Wow.
Nashville studio head,
Yeah.
right? I think Nashville. How about let's say
Spank? I need Spank. I need Mike Reed.
Spank hasn't been on. Mike Reed hasn't been on?
No.
Okay. Mike Reed for sure.
Yeah.
Spank for sure. Boots for
Absolutely.
sure.
I need all of them.
Right?
Yeah.
Lil Darryl.
Omar. Sure. I need everybody. I need a group chat.
Oh yeah. So you just let me know which one we're going after first, and we're doing it.
Absolutely. Well, my brother, thank you so much. You have influenced a generation, man. You have changed many lives and opened their eyes to being a professional musician that has sustained a successful 30-year career. You're still going. You ain't old. You ain't washed up. You are still killing the game, man, and you need to walk in that. We appreciate you as your fans, as your humble supporters, bro. I'm grateful for you taking time out to be with me today. I have much love and appreciation for you. Thank you for always being cool whenever I see you, not being uppity. A lot of these dudes, they let it go to their head. They let the success go to their head, but you have always stayed grounded and always been a friend and a brother. And I thank you for taking time out to be on my platform, to share your story and to help somebody else. A lot of times I would see people go out and be successful, but they would never come back. They would never reach back to bring the jewels and the information that they got from being out in the community back to help somebody else. And that's an attribute to what you want to do. You said that's how you want to be remembered. You want to be remembered to help somebody. And my friend, you have helped me. Thank you so much. Man,
thank you. And I love this podcast, bro.
Thank you, fam.
I love the way you do it. It's so interesting, the subject matter and the people that you got on. Anything I could do to help, done.
Thank you so much. Where can we find you in your social media?
So you can find me on Instagram at BFM22 or at BFM World, either one. Brian Frasier Moore on Facebook. Brian Frasier M on Twitter. And I don't know all the rest of them.
That's fine.
Oh, and my website, bfmworld.com.
Absolutely. Well, that's it. That's a wrap with my guy, Brian Frasier Moore. Episode 11 is complete. I'm so grateful for this legend coming out and chilling with us. Brian, thank you so much, my friend. I'll be in touch. Man. But Happy New Year to you and your family. And you enjoy your day and whatever you're working on. I know it's going to be blazing, so I can't wait to hear.
the FM album.
Ooh, you got to come back on
done.
the show. You got to come back on the show and talk about it. Let's do that,
Yes.
okay? We'll do
Thank you, brother.
We'll do a listening party. You come break down every track.
Oh, yeah. Thank
All
you,
right.
bro.
Thank you, man. God bless. Whoa, what an amazing episode. Brian Frasier Moore here on the In the Pocket podcast. Episode 11 is a wrap. I'm grateful for everybody coming through and chilling with us. Please continue to support the show. I can't do it without you. So please tell a friend. Please like, share, and repost. Subscribe to the channel on audio platforms and on the YouTube channel and on Facebook. Thank you so much. I'm your boy Chip G signing out. Happy New Year to you and your friends, and I'll see you next time. Stay in the pocket.